Welcome back to the Business Ignite podcast, where we light the fire for business growth and marketing success. Your hosts, Ethan Walker and Samantha Reed, bring you the latest trends, expert insights, and actionable strategies to fuel your business journey. Let's ignite your potential.
Ever feel like you're, like putting together one of those awesome rocket ships, all shiny and ready to go, but then you launch it and PFFT just kind of fizzles out. That's what it can feel like to get lost in the online world, right?
It's a crowded space out there.
Totally. But we're not about to just wave a white flag and surrender to the digital void. We're going to figure out how to get that website traffic soaring. And lucky for us, we've got a killer game plan today.
Oh, yeah. What are we diving into?
We're tackling 9 marketing tactics to get more traffic, an article from the geniuses over at 95 Visual.
Those guys. They know their stuff. Their client list is seriously impressive.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So we're not just going to skim the surface here, We're going deep on why these tactics work, and more importantly, how you listening to this can actually use them. No more of that tried everything but still invisible online frustration.
Love that approach. And it's interesting they start with the core of it all, SEO.
It's funny you mention that. SEO sometimes feels like, eating your vegetables, it's good for you, essential, but maybe not the most thrilling part of the meal.
And that's why I always go back to the house analogy. Think of SEO as the foundation. You can have the most amazing content, the sleekest website design, even some fancy ad campaigns running.
But if you built it on shaky ground.
Exactly. It all crumbles. No one can find you. Search engines like Google, they're like super organized librarians with a system only they understand.
Okay, I'm kind of with you.
Keywords, website structure, even who else is linking back to your little corner of the internet, it's all sending signals. Tell Google what you're about, get it right, and boom, you're on page 1, baby.
Prime real estate. Instead of being hidden down some digital alleyway, I'm liking this analogy.
And here's the kicker. SEO isn't a set it and forget it kind of deal. Those algorithms change more often than
Then some people change their socks.
Hey, I was going to say fashion trends, but sure. Point is, got to stay adaptable. But we could unpack that another time. Let's talk about something a little sexier, paid advertising.
Everyone's got thoughts on ads.
Right. And 95 Visual is highlighting Facebook and Pinterest specifically. Makes sense. Tons of users.
Sometimes it feels like those ads are stalking me, though. Hey, I just looked at that cute dog leash online, and bam, it's everywhere. You ever get that?
All the time. And that's precisely why knowing your audience is key. It's about precision targeting. If you're selling, let's say, handmade fishing lures.
You don't want to be hitting up the knitting forums with your ads.
Exactly. Waste of everyone's time and money.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and Pinterest have gotten scary good at narrowing down who sees what. Demographics, hobbies, even their late-night online shopping habits.
So instead of being that random ad, you're speaking directly to the fishing enthusiast, lure in hand, ready to make their next big catch.
Gotcha. Speaking of reeling things in, what's next on the 95 Visual hit list?
Influencer marketing. We've all heard about it. But they have a unique take. It's not enough to just follow these influential voices. Gotta engage, too.
Because let's be real, love your content gets lost in the sea of comments. What are they suggesting? Think strategically. Let's go back to our fishing friend. Don't just follow every influencer who's ever held a rod. Find the ones who really vibe with your brand, the ones your ideal customer trusts.
And then you actually reach out, like a real human.
Exactly. Offer them a sample lure. Brainstorm a contest together that benefits both of your audiences.
Building a relationship, not just a transaction. That's how you stand out. I like it. It's funny how we always think about doing marketing to our business. It's this separate thing, but 95 Visual makes it feel more
Organic.
Yeah, it's all connected, part of the same ecosystem. Which brings us to the next tactic, giveaways and contests.
Always a crowd pleaser. But it's not just about giving away free stuff willy-nilly. It's about tapping into that shared excitement, building a buzz around your brand.
Okay, but I gotta be honest, some giveaways I've seen just makes zero sense. A tech company giving away socks, where's the connection?
Right. That's why relevance is key. Think back to those fishing lures. What if that tech company partnered with, a camping gear brand or a travel company that specializes in fishing trips?
Yeah.
Suddenly, it's not random freebies. It's a targeted experience.
Now you're speaking my language. It's not just about the stuff, it's about creating a feeling, shared excitement around something people actually care about.
Exactly. And speaking of excitement, 95 Visual's next tactic taps into a little something we all know too well. They call it The power of FOMO.
Fear of missing out, and let's be real, we've all been there. Scrolling through social media like, wait, everyone's doing that thing? Gotta get in on this?
Yeah.
It's like a primal instinct. Limited time offer. Boom. Gotta have it. Those countdown timers, the almost sold out notifications.
Don't even get me started on those. Suddenly, I'm convinced I need that thing, even if I've never heard of it before.
It all comes down to loss aversion. We're hardwired to avoid missing out on something way more than we're driven by potentially gaining something.
So how do we use this FOMO magic for good without being, manipulative marketers?
Right, you got to be ethical about it. But it can be as simple as highlighting limited edition products, offering those early bird discounts.
Or even just reminding people that time is ticking. Okay, so we've got this solid foundation with SEO. We're engaging the right people with influencer marketing and giveaways. Even throwing in a dash of FOMO feels like we're building towards something big here.
We are. All of this leads us to what, in my opinion, is the heart of it all: content marketing.
Yes. Content is king, or queen, I should say. But seriously, it's not enough to just exist online anymore. You gotta have something worth reading, watching, listening to.
Exactly. And compelling is the name of the game. Think about it. Informative blog posts, engaging videos, those shareable infographics that everyone loves,
Yeah.
even downloadable resources that offer real value.
Hold on, let's unpack that a bit. Valuable content is subjective, right? What's valuable to one person might bore another to tears.
You're absolutely right. That's why knowing your audience is crucial. What are their pain points? What keeps them up at night? What do they secretly dream about? Answer those questions, and you've got the keys to crafting content that resonates.
Content that makes them think, wow, they really get me. That's powerful stuff. It's like you're not just selling a product or service anymore, you're building a connection.
Precisely. It's about establishing that, like a trust factor that turns casual visitors into loyal fans.
Okay, so we've poured our hearts into this amazing content, but even the best blog post or video needs a little nudge in the right direction, wouldn't you say? And that's where 95 Visual's last two tactics come in: give directions and compelling CTAs.
Couldn't agree more. It's so easy to get caught up in creating great content that we forget to tell people what to do with it.
It's like that feeling when you're at a museum, right? Surrounded by cool exhibits, but no clear path, no sense of direction. You might stumble upon something interesting, but you're probably missing the bigger picture.
Lost in a sea of potential. And that's exactly what happens when our content lacks clear directions. We need to tell people, hey, this is the next step.
So instead of just dropping a blog post into the void, we're adding strategically placed links, clear calls to action. Things like, hey, if you enjoyed this, check out our latest product, or join our community of awesome people.
Make it a no-brainer. Guide the journey from start to finish.
Okay, so we're giving directions, but how do we make those CTAs irresistible? Because click here just doesn't cut it anymore.
Amen to that. A truly compelling CTA is like a marketing haiku. Concise, attention-grabbing. It's about speaking directly to your audience's needs and desires.
So instead of learn more, we're going with something like unleash your inner content marketing rock star.
Now you're talking. Evoke emotion.
Yeah.
Create that sense of urgency. And for goodness sake, clearly communicate the value proposition. What's in it for them? Answer that, and you're golden.
This has been amazing. We've gone from the nitty-gritty of SEO to crafting killer CTAs. But before we wrap up with some actionable takeaways, I'm curious, what's resonated most with you? What feels like a potential game changer for our listeners? Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here, from the foundations of SEO to crafting those irresistible calls to action. But it all comes down to this: how do we know if it's actually working?
The million-dollar question. We could talk about content and engagement and all these fancy tactics, but if they're not moving the needle, what's the point?
Right. It's like, imagine building this amazing boat, right? You've got the blueprints, the materials, the whole crew, but you don't actually know if it floats until you put it in the water.
Love that analogy. And in the marketing world, data is our water. Analytics tell us what's working, what's not. No more guessing games.
But let's be real. Looking at raw data can feel like, I don't know, deciphering ancient hieroglyphics. It means something, but I'm not sure I speak the language.
You're not alone. Start with the basics. Website traffic, how many people are actually showing up? What are they doing once they're there? Are they bouncing right off or hanging out, clicking around?
Okay, so we're looking at website analytics, but it's not just about vanity metrics, right? Like having 1 million visitors means nothing if they're all leaving after 2 seconds.
Exactly. We want quality over quantity. Bounce rate, time on page, conversion rate. Those are the numbers that tell the real story. Are people engaging? Are they taking action? That's the good stuff.
So Say we've implemented some of these 95 visual tactics. We're tracking everything.
Yeah.
And nothing. Crickets. Like our marketing efforts are just disappearing into the void. What then?
Time to iterate. Remember that word? It's all about experimenting, tweaking headlines, trying different approaches, and analyzing what happens.
If at first you don't succeed,
Analyze, adjust, and try again.
I like that version better. And you know what? That feels like the perfect note to wrap things up on. We've explored so much in this deep dive, but the learning never really ends, does it?
Not in the ever-changing world of online marketing. New platforms pop up every day. Algorithms are always shifting. It's a wild ride, but that's what makes it fun, right?
Absolutely. So to everyone listening, remember, knowledge is power. Don't be afraid to experiment, track those results, and never underestimate the power of a truly stellar call to action. And hey, if you ever feel lost in the digital weeds, you know where to find us. Until next time, happy marketing.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Ignite podcast, where we fuel your business growth and marketing success. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate and review us. It does help others find the show. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Business Ignite Podcast and share this episode with a friend. Keep the fire burning, and remember, your success is just one strategy away. Until next time, stay ignited.